right, so tell me, you're Lady MAGA. Tell me about you.
I am Lady MAGA USA, and I grew up, I'm gay, and I was a professional drag queen. I was a professional Britney Spears impersonator, and I had a lot of fun. But over the last 5-6 years, the LGBTQIA++, XYZ, LMNOP, MAP movement, they no longer stand for equality or inclusion. They stand for cultural dominance. And I really decided to step away once they started pushing hormones and castration and sterilization on children. Because guess what? When I was 9 years old, I used to sneak and wear my sister's cheerleading outfits. I've always loved hair and makeup. So if I had been born today in this modern LGBTQIA XYZ culture, they would have told me I'm in the wrong body. And they could have given me hormones. They could have mutilated me before I was 18 and knew what I was doing. So the reason I stepped away is because all I ask is the freedom to be gay, wear a wig, have a good time. My freedoms end where the freedoms of others begin. And that includes evangelical Christians. That includes people who say I'm going to hell, because I am a free speech absolutist. And if I want to have the free speech to, be crazy and have fun, then I have to defend the free speech of others. And so that's why in 2019, I just said enough is enough. This LGBTQIA+ movement is doing things in my name, so to speak, that I cannot tolerate. So I jumped on the Trump train. I went to rallies. I took a big risk, like, can I do this? Wearing a wig. And it's been nothing but acceptance and unity as patriots. And one of the reasons I'm different than other drag queens is I don't need to go to a pride parade and wave sex toys in public. I don't need to dress in a provocative manner. You can be fabulous, you can be fun without being vulgar. And drag queens and the LGBTQIA+ movement, they need to save their adults-only content and their explicit content and their vulgarity for the nightclubs.
Yeah, so I want to talk to you about that, because in Austin, Texas, we've had drag queen story club hours and everything, and you've had drag queens and they're gyrating and there's like nipple tassels and stuff like that.
Teaching my nieces and nephews to twerk? No. So drag queen story hour, it sounds very benign. It sounds very like, oh, it's just drag queens reading stories. No. Their stories are carefully and politically selected. And the stories are all about erasing gender, pushing transgenderism, pushing non-binary, genderqueer doctrine to indoctrinate these kids. It is not about having a good time and doing a drag queen story hour. If they were just, reading neutral stories or whatever, I wouldn't be so upset. But they're literally reading stories about transgenderism to 6-year-olds who are going to get confused and possibly permanently alter and mutilate their body before they're 18.
So you say you identify as a gay man, and so you see this whole agenda to make children, mutilate children as like also an attack on gayness.
Oh, honey, guess what? The real homophobes today, don't get me started. The real homophobia today is not from the evangelicals. It's not from the religious right. It is from the LGBTQIA+ movement, who tells me that as a gay man, if I am not attracted to a man with a vagina, then I am transphobic. That is conversion therapy. And the very same people out there fighting conversion therapy to turn people straight are telling regular, good old-fashioned gay people like me that if I'm not attracted to a trans man with a vagina, then somehow I'm transphobic. So the lunacy has just gone way into outer space, and I'm so proud that I have stepped away and said enough is enough. So the slippery slope is what everybody fears. So good, common sense, patriotic, gun-owning, America-loving gays like me, we have to step away and say enough is enough. Y'all are crazy.
Right. So one more thing. So I'm like known as this crazy mom that was like really upset about books in the schools, and one of those books was called Genderqueer. And
I know that book is disgusting.
Right. So I feel like because I was upset about this book and seeing like dildos in a freaking children's book that because it was called genderqueer that I was called transphobic or whatever. But so you being dressed as a woman right now as a man, set the record straight for me, please.
I'll set the record straight. Well, first of all, you said you're a mother and you're an activist a little bit. Don't you know that you're a domestic terrorist?
Right?
You're worse than Osama bin Laden. I mean,
Apparently.
how dare you
Apparently.
state that you are in charge of your kids instead of them? No, see, that's exactly what I mean. Behind the LGBTQ language of tolerance, inclusion, is entirely inappropriate and manipulative, dangerous material like that. You know what? No, I think no child should even have to discuss sexuality or any of that until maybe when they start going through puberty, and then maybe they can talk about it in school with parental consent, with cameras in the classroom and the parents knowing exactly what's going to be presented to their children. Because the modern narrative is that you, as a mother, you don't know what's best for your child. Big Brother does. The state does. And so that's why I stand up against it. And on a side note, you know, I've gone to Trump rallies and there are families with kids there. And so if they come up and want to take a picture, first I'm all like, okay, kids over there, parents here, let's take a picture. And then as soon as we take the picture, I talk to the family and I say, do you guys like Halloween? And they always say yes. And I say, you know what? Sometimes I'm Spider-Man, sometimes I'm Dracula, sometimes I'm Frankenstein, sometimes I'm Batman, sometimes I'm a unicorn, and today I'm wearing this crazy costume. Isn't that silly? It's that simple. I don't have to confuse anybody about gender or biology just because I love to dress up. And on the left, they have, oh, he's turning it. Is that okay? On the left, they have weaponized the artistry of drag, which is meant to be a joke. It's meant to be tongue-in-cheek. It's meant to be silly. But they've weaponized it to push this gender-neutral, genderqueer agenda, and I want nothing to do with it. You know what? I'm here to make you smile. I'm here to make you laugh. I'm here to have a good time. And you, as a conservative, should not feel threatened by me. But the reason people do is because of the radical LGBTQIA++ leftists. And they are predatory, they're embarrassing, and that's, you know, I could have just joined the movement as me without the costume, but I want to make a statement. Because nothing makes the leftists more angry than a drag queen for Trump. A drag queen who defends evangelicals, a drag queen who stands for free speech, and a drag queen who says, keep your hormones and surgeries off of my nieces and nephews.
Thank you.
A bunch of child abusers.
Thank you. Thank you for being that.
I hope it don't come across as cruel or insensitive, but I've just had enough. And if you're transgender and you're an adult, God bless you. Cut off your boobs, cut off your willy winky like nobody cares, because you're an adult. This is America. But as soon as you do it to a 12-year-old, you are a predatory child abuser. Bye, girl, bye. Literally. And the doctors who are doing this know what they're doing. But the whole movement is about the pharmaceutical industry raking in billions of dollars for these so-called puberty blockers as they predatorily try and incorporate more and more people into the LGBTQ. That's why the alphabet keeps expanding. Because nobody cares if you're gay or lesbian. Nobody. You got some lesbian neighbors, you got a gay hairstylist, nobody cares. So the victim narrative ended for regular gay and lesbian people and traditional drag queens. So what do they have to do? They have to convince all the kids who shop at Hot Topic that you are non-binary, you are genderqueer. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's all about expanding the victim narrative.
So good, so good. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.